Now for Vijay Diwas celebrations this week. It is of course about celebrations given the glory and victory of our soldiers, but it's also about remembering and perhaps also reminding ourselves of the supreme sacrifice that soldiers, many of them young men in their early 20s, who decided to defend our borders and in the uniform made that ultimate sacrifice for the nation. As Indians, we must never forget what Kargil war really was. It was about the evil designs of Pakistan thwarted by the Indian men in uniform. And now, with 25 years that we mark this time, the Jubilee celebrations coming in from Kargil. Prime Minister Modi is going to be attending the Vijay Diwas in Kargil on 26 July, that's tomorrow. But remember India's bravest of the brave is what I would say. Gaurav Sawant is on the ground to bring us a ground report. Meanwhile, there have been strict restrictions as well. Ladakh administration has banned the use of drones, UAVs in the region. This is as a security measures, as also Prime Minister is going to be there on locations. These are some of the visuals on your screen. What happened in 1999 and 25 years later, we remember and we will forever remember the sacrifice of our soldiers and the families left behind.
As the nation gears up to celebrate 25 years of India's victory over Pakistan in Kargil, we are at the Lamochin viewpoint in Dras. Why is this place important? Because this was one area that was used even in Kargil by commanders to get a bird's eye view of the battlefield, the battle location. Because from here, you can see all the areas where the battle was fought. For example, this is Dras town, as you can see behind me. That's the road, that's the Dras river. Right above that, that's Tololing. That's how close the Pakistanis had come. So from the naked eye, they could see the highway, they could see the Dras town and they could fire on it. Right next to it, supporting Pakistanis on Tololing was their position at 5140. Next to it was 4700. Let me now try and show that area to you on a map, and that is why this viewpoint today is very important, because right now, the next of kin of those braves who fought the Kargil war, they will be here. Those braves themselves will be here, so that they also know, the next generation knows where this battle was fought. So let me give you an idea. Rolling on the map here, that's rolling on top there. 5140 you see here, that's 5140 there. Three Pimple, 28th of June battle, very important. Tiger Hill, that long feature on here, that's Tiger Hill next to it. Then Batrata 4875, that's Batrata on that. Fighting in all these areas was extremely important. 1.5353 in red, indication the war continues against Pakistan, a terror sponsor, and Pakistan state terror in the hinterland.
Sir, 25 years after the war, I want to take you back to the time when you were inducted. When were you the exact date of your induction here in the Dras battle zone?
Yeah, we came here on 17th of May. We were fighting militancy in Valley, and suddenly we got the orders to move to Daras, and 17 we reached here.
And what were you told? What were you to battle here?
Initially, I was summoned to the brigade headquarters, 121 brigade, and I was told from the outside that look, this is the Tololing, and few mujahideens are there, about 5 to 6 of them, and you have to get hold of them. But once we started the operation on 21st and 22nd night, and it took almost 24 days for us, because it was not 5 to 6 militants, it was almost a company plus.
So on Tololing, and Tololing is at an altitude of 16,000 feet, if I remember correctly, 16,000 feet, and the Pakistanis were very well entrenched, not just at Tololing, but the three features around Tololing giving them support fire.
If you see the Tololing, it has Tololing 0.4590, adjacent to it is Hamp, and then is 0.5140, where 13 Jackrif went later on. So it was a huge complex, and the enemy was trenched, and hats off to the men that despite numerous challenges of weather, terrain, operational and logistic support, they still moved ahead and captured initially the Tololing.
And joining me now live in this telecast from on the ground in Kargil is Gaurav Sawant. Gaurav, good morning. I guess you would be in your early 20s when you were reporting from Kargil as a reporter. For 25 years, you've constantly returned. How is Kargil in 2024, Gaurav?
...2024 Kargil is a beautiful hill station where people come for tourism. A far cry from what I witnessed when I came here first in the summer of 1999, when even locals had abandoned Kargil. You've reported very extensively on counter-terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir. That's where majority of the focus was, and that's where most of our forces were. There were long gaps, and if I could just show you for a moment, Pooja, that's Tiger Hill right behind me. That's Tololing. That's the feature adjacent to it, 5140. This entire complex was occupied by Pakistanis in the summer of 1999, and we are standing at the Lamochin point. That's Dras town below us. That's the Dras River, and that's the National Highway 1 that's snaking along this road. So the Pakistanis were dominating this. Every vehicle, including ours, was targeted by the Pakistani machine guns. They didn't even have to use heavy artillery. From their machine guns, they were so close. They were virtually on the roadhead on Tololing, and direct firing were targeting military vehicles, civilian vehicles, and everything was abandoned. 24 years later, of course, 25 years later, the Pakistanis are across the LC, except, of course, at point 5353. And, LC restored, army very strongly deployed. But the terror threat, as you know better, as we've been reporting in Kupwara in North Kashmir, the terror threat of Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror still remains, Pooja.
Absolutely, it's finding loopholes now in the Jammu region, and I'm sure just like in Kargil, our soldiers will be at the forefront. Looking forward to your coverage there in Kargil, Gaurav. But I do have another quick question. In many ways, like you're also mentioning, a lot has changed for the better in Jammu and Kashmir, in Ladakh, and specifically now it's a union territory. But the focus will have to be, again, these border areas. There's China, there's Pakistan, and India cannot just step back and say all is well, isn't it?
All is clearly not well. The more India rises, the faster we become from the 5th largest to the 3rd largest economy, the stronger we become strategically. Our neighbors would want to pull us down. Pakistan is a failed terror state. So Pakistan is a basket case. They can only use terror against India. Their military cannot take us on anymore. That's very clear, because the difference in weapons, in systems, in training, in tactics, they're now a highly radicalized Islamist army. So, you have the Al-Qaeda, you have the Lashkar-e-Taiba, and you have the Pakistan army. They're just 50 shades of terror. When you talk about China, extremely, extremely strong, a threat that remains at the LAC. There's mirror deployment of 50,000 troops on either side and more all along the LAC from Arunachal to Ladakh. The threat remains, but the stronger we become, the lesser are the chances of the adversary trying anything mischievous, because they know, like in Kargil, Pakistan got a bloody nose in Kargil. Any country tries anything against India, ultimately they'll get a bloody nose. The main aim, Pooja, should remain, it's at minimal losses to self, own troops, own families. They should not suffer while protecting our country to the best of their abilities.
Gaurav, looking forward to your coverage, and I can say that from your days of reporter to now, your hair may have turned slight grey, but your passion for work and to report about the armed forces remains.